Hi, my name is Charles Roberts. This is Msce 530 Ethics in Sport, and this is my quality of character presentation. The topic I chose for this presentation is communication, because I believe it's a vital tool for us to obtain and to have and to possess as coaches and leaders and athletic administrators. For introduction, we will define communication first off. We'll do an official definition, how it's defined in the dictionary, and then I will give my own definition of communication. I have a background in communication studies. I got a bachelor's degree in it, and so I feel like the one that I put on here is one that I really resonate with and one that really hits home for me in regards to defining communication. We'll do an example of communication next. After that, on the field communication between coaches and players, and just how important that is to be an effective and efficient communicator. And then application of communication will involve us talking about 5 different types of coaching styles and how those different styles correlate with how they communicate and what they focus on and what they emphasize. So communication defined in Merriam-Webster is a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. So that's the official definition in the yearbook. And so this next one will be the one I did in my own words. The process of stimulating meanings in the minds of others through verbal and nonverbal means. So the thing that really hits home for me is stimulating meanings in the minds of others, because sharing is important, and effectively getting your message across, as well as allowing them the best opportunity to interpret, is also just as important to communication. And so verbal and nonverbal, we'll get into that a little bit later, but those are very important. It's very important to understand the distinction between the two. The importance of communication in sport. As a coach, leader, teacher, mentor, it is the most important quality of character for us to have, because effectively and efficiently getting your message across is a blanket over everything you do, and it goes with operations, logistics, simply playing, how you manage, and how you lead effectively. And so we will go right into example of communication now. Football, there's play calling. I could say something like, I write 12 year, I write 10 midline. But if I don't share that knowledge, I don't really sit down and I teach the players what that means. It's just a bunch of words and a number to them. So as well as signaling, we do signals to play call sometimes, or also we hold up a board. You may have seen it on TV. They have 4 pictures. It could be all 4 dummy pictures. It could be 2 are actual plays, 2 others are dummies. It's really dependent on the coach or the offensive coordinator and really the scheme behind everything. So that's an example of communication in football. In soccer, I had a friend who was telling me about soccer and how they operate on the field. And how they work is, soccer is a continuous game. It's played 2 45-minute halves. There's little stops here and there, but they're not very long stops or breaks. So the manager has to work even harder to really continuously communicate up and down the field, to the attackers, to the midfielders, to the defenders, to the goalie. So there's a challenge in that, and continually making sure you're getting your message across, and they're also hearing you or seeing you try to, and you allow them to interpret that message. Baseball, many know the catcher gives a signal to the pitcher to understand which pitch the pitcher wants, so that there is no confusion between that, as well as the manager gives hand signals to the defense or even to the hitter to let them know, this is the way we want to play this one. These are the pitches we're going to throw to this guy. This guy's not that great at these pitches, so we're going to throw these pitches. This pitcher's not that great, so we're going to want to hit a certain way. We're going to bunt. We're going to squeeze, things of that nature. The hand signals are really they use a lot of nonverbal cues in baseball. Another example of communication. So verbal communication, using linguistic cues to share information and knowledge. So linguistic is our anything that involves language and speaking and using words, diction, what have you. That's verbal communication, verbally communicating what your message, what you're trying to get across. Nonverbal communication, however, which many people don't really truly understand the definition or what nonverbal communication means, is using non-linguistic or paralinguistic cues to share information and knowledge. So non-linguistic has everything to do with body language, eye contact, touch, space in between between you and a player or and another coach. Paralinguistic, however, has to do with rate of speech, tone, volume, and so all those things are used by us coaches, strategically to get your point across. And the great ones really understand nonverbal cues. Many people tell players, don't put your hands on your hips because you show tiredness. Don't put your head down because you show weakness. You show that you've given up. Those small little things are vital because it shows the other team things, or it gives them a reason to believe that you've given up, you're tired, so they'll take advantage. So you hear a lot of coaches saying that, and that itself is communicating to someone that you really don't want to communicate to, and so that's why you hear coaches say that a lot. So now we'll move on to application of communication. There are 5 types of coaching communication styles we'll talk about today. That's leader, mentor, strategist, teacher, and manager. So first we'll talk about leader. Leader communicates how they expect others to. They lead by example. So if a coach doesn't want their players to swear, a good leader, a great leader, an efficient, effective communicating leader will also not use swear words or profanity around his or her players. So lead by example. A mentor communicates more as a life coach, is concerned bigger picture off the field as well as on the field. It is someone who is there to communicate and be there for you. And really, a lot of mentors they share knowledge, yes, but a lot of mentors also listen, and that's a huge thing for young kids, especially high school kids. I coach at the high school level, so I do my best to really listen to them talk. Strategists communicate strategies and tactics with the emphasis of on the field communication. So everything to them is one goal in mind, and that's to win, or that's to do what we practiced effectively and well, and so they're just going to continually communicate in that manner. A teacher communicates with a focus on knowledge flow, so sharing knowledge, passing knowledge down to your team captain so that your team captain passes it down to the other players, to starters pass it down to bench players, so on and so forth, and allowing the athletes to truly understand. That's what great teachers do, communicating wise. And manager communicates with a goal-oriented mindset. The manager really just oversees and communicates in a fashion that we're going to accomplish our goal as one together, and so that's the mindset. That's what he goes in there with, the manager type of coach. And so in Brown, in one of our assigned readings, Brown 2003, there's a section that says being a difference maker, and this one really stood out. This quote: "They are good listeners. They seek and consider feedback from others." That's huge. That's basically what we've just been talking about. Those are the great leaders are the ones that listen. They seek feedback. They're the ones that don't place blame, but they ask if something goes wrong. They really try to figure it out. They don't point fingers. And so that's a quote that I really liked from this book. Conclusion: communication is the most important quality of character. Plain and simple. That's what I believe. It's effective communication, efficient communication make the best leaders, transformational leaders. And effective communication allows coaches the opportunity to truly change lives. References, and thank you for joining me today for my presentation.